Hi there. It's kind of late out, but I had to get something to eat. I had something on my mind that I just kind of felt like talking about. And that is, as I actually look back on my past relationships, what I find is really interesting is that a lot of, it is true, like what the Bible says, like when a man finds a good woman, right? And he is supposed to be looking for her. And for myself, I've never been the type to go out looking for a man because I was married and, with one person for so long. And anyway, I'm not on any dating sites or anything like that. And that's because I refuse to do that because I'm just not going to do it. I know that there's a lot of fakers, and I meet too many people in, everyday, regular life or whatever. And the number one thing, I guess what I was thinking about, which I find is very interesting, is every guy that I've ever been in a relationship with, or I've had I've had 3 relationships, like 3, if you want to call them long-term relationships, or, just really 2, and then 1 a little bit longer, or whatever. Everybody else has been just guys that have either been interested in me, off and on, here or there, in between, but they were never, just nothing ever came of that, right? But I was thinking about it, and the reason for the relationships ending in all of them was not me. I mean, I might have been the strong one or the one to decide to leave. So in that way, if you look at it, I could be blamed as to the reason for the relationship ending, right? But if you look at it from, let's say, the woman's point of view, my point of view or whatever, the reason for relationships that I've been in that have ended were not because of me. So, like, for example, my first husband passed away. That was not my fault, right? And, there was nothing that could be done with that. He had a sudden heart attack at a very young age. Okay. And the other relationships, they were issues and things that were just, as far as I'm concerned, no-goes, just after giving time and warning, or, not even warning, I'm going to say warning, but after giving time to resolve the issues, to try to work through issues, it's like the issues were not resolved. So it definitely wasn't for me. The way that I look at it is that it really wasn't me. Like, it really wasn't me per se. Like, it's just things that needed to get fixed that just never were fixed, right? But with enough time and effort or energy put into that, if it doesn't get fixed, and these are serious concerns or whatever, right? At some point, a woman has to make a decision, to leave or to stay, right? And I'm strong enough to leave, right? If I say, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're in a relationship or a marriage or whatever. Now, this is not something that I actually experienced, but let's just say I was in a marriage with somebody who decided they wanted to be in an open relationship or an open marriage. And I know that there is plenty of that goes around, right? But I have decided long ago that would not be the life for me, right? Okay? Like, that's not the life for me. I don't share men, and I don't share very well when it comes to relationships, right? And I don't think pretty much anyone I have ever been with, they don't want to share me. So, it's like that would be an issue that I would have to resolve, right? And that if the person still wanted to do that, right, then eventually, then I would have to make an exit, right? So that's an example of what I'm talking about. But what I find is interesting is whatever it is that made me end my relationships, right? It was behavior of some sort that could have been changed, that could have been dealt with, right? But it wasn't. And what happens sometimes is when the woman is fed up and she leaves, right? We're labeled the problem, trouble, or whatever. The issue, right? And I find this to be very interesting because what a lot of men don't realize, and I think a lot of women would agree with me, is that when a woman leaves and when she actually exits a relationship, marriage or not, just whatever, when a woman finally walks away from a relationship, it is very likely that she has probably been entertaining the idea of leaving and walking away for quite some time, right? Likely it was something she was thinking about for, anywhere from weeks to months to years. Okay. And so what I mean by that is, like a lot of guys might think like, oh, she just up and left me. I just came home and her stuff was gone or something. Like, you'll hear guys say that kind of thing, right? When in actuality, what he is not expressing either to his boys or to other people or whatever is what she is actually presenting, or what she might be saying to her girls, and what her girls all know to be the truth, right? Which is that girl has been threatening to leave his butt, for years and years and years, right? Or months and months and months, or whatever, weeks and weeks and weeks, whatever the case, right? But that he actually had plenty of warning, okay? And a lot of men will be like surprised and up in arms when she finally decides to jet. Now, I'm not the type to go years and years and years. Believe me, I'm definitely not that type. But for sure, I'm just like most women out there who, after many attempts of trying to reconcile or fix a particular issue, whatever that may be, will just, say that's enough, that's enough. And now where I'm at now in my life is that, that time is definitely getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It's definitely not something that I'm willing. I feel like now I have plenty of non-negotiables, what I consider to be non-negotiables, okay, that I'm not going to put up with, that is going to literally be exit left like next day, okay? And those things, so while a man, and many men I notice, will like to blame or view the relationship ending as to the fault of, let's say, the woman is looking at it like, no, the ending of the relationship was really in that person's control, but he had to be willing to make some changes. He had to be willing to stand up to the plate, or whatever the case was, right? Whatever that woman was asking of him. And usually that woman has been saying such and such and such and such and such and such for quite some time. Like, this is usually not something that took him by surprise. I was once dating a guy that I felt was exhibiting some, I would call them playerish type of behaviors. And I don't deal with players, right? Because I'm not a player, and no. If I'm not, like, for me personally, if I'm not going to be exclusive, or like going to be devoting my time to the person in front of me or whatever, he's going to know. And I kid you not when I say I literally say this on a regular basis. When a guy wants to talk to me, and he, wants to whatever, get my phone number or whatever, depending on if I even think there's an attraction at all, my response is going to be like, I literally say this. I will literally say, yeah, I'll give you my phone number, but you got about 16 others in line. Okay. So, just so you know. And I say that on purpose. I do that on purpose. It's not, I don't really have 16 men. I mean, sure. I mean, there's probably guys that are interested or whatever, but I'm not talking to all 16. But I do want it to be known, like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to mix words about being exclusive or mix words about where my intentions are, right? And I know some men are that way. I've only ever experienced one man to be a little bit this way. And when I detected it, well, when I felt like, okay, you're taking up too much of my attention, okay, and we need to probably discuss, or think about what's happening here, right? After, a little bit of warning, a fair warning, I would consider to be a fair warning, I exited stage left, right? It was like, we have to exit this stage left. Like, we have to stop. This has to end, okay? Because I'm not going to be the type of person that I'm going to have all my time commandeered, or you're going to take up all my time, or I'm going to take up all your time, or whatever, and we're not going to label this, or, if I suspect that there might be something else, or some other issues, or something else going on, or whatever, like, it's not going to last for me, because, so I guess what I'm trying to say is most women are the type, I think most women are like this. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I do, from my friends and the people that I hang around with, the caliber of women that I hang with, they go based on feeling, right? And if they have a good feeling with that person, if that person makes them feel good, and I don't mean sexually or romantically, right? I mean in general, like in their soul. Like if they can feel calm, if they can feel loved, supported, and all of those things, right? Then they'll stay, right? If that man doesn't activate her fight or flight response or something like that, a woman is going to go based how she feels in a relationship. If, and then of course that's going to all depend on how she was raised and what she deems to be acceptable and not, right? And that gets into another whole thing. But for the most part, it's like, men will like to say, oh, it's her fault, the relationship didn't work because she left me. But women will tend to say something more along the lines of, I had to leave because my requests were not being met. And when I say requests, I'm not talking about, little requests or, whatever, not little things. I'm talking about big things. Like, for example, if a woman is dealing with a man who wants to have another whole family on the side and not be truthful about such things, right? Or if a man decides that he wants to maybe live in another state and not be truthful. Or if a man is hiding a secret addiction, whatever that could be, right? And eventually that kind of takes over, because it'll take over your personality for sure. If you have any kind of addictions, drinking, pills, pill popping, smashing, snorting, cocaine, meth, any kind of secret addiction, right, that people don't know about or whatever, it will take over the relationship. It does. It'll take over. As well as if you have any secret health concerns that are serious of nature. And also if you have any secret mental health concerns, that will take over the relationship, and things like that, right? So those are things that I feel most women would be like, we're going to need to rectify XYZ, or I'm going to have to leave. And after she has said that several times, usually maybe months, maybe weeks, maybe whatever, maybe one time, whatever, if she's left with that, with the only option of leaving, because it's either lose her self-respect and her dignity, her morals, or lose a relationship. If you're dealing with a woman of any high caliber or spirituality, or a woman of God, or a mature woman, right? She's not going to lose her self-respect. She's going to opt to lose the relationship, lose that man, right? And find a different one who will match her level of loyalty and commitment, right? That type of equal give and take. So, it's kind of like, I find it very interesting when a woman is deemed the villain. Okay, and I know a lot of women who have gone through things like this. Now, I think that I know that I'm very eclectic person. I have a lot of quirks about myself because I know that I'm different, and I know that I've been told that, because I'm like I'm literally like the opposite ends of both spectrum, right? So what I mean by that is like I might want to go to bed at 10 o'clock one night, or get into bed early one night, and the next night I'm up till like 3 a.m. doing something that I need to finish, right? Or a job, or maybe even if I don't go out like that very often, but like I usually have a passion project of something or whatever, right? Or like, for example, even in my my playlist in my phone, I will literally have 1 minute I might have worship music, the next minute it's rap music, or it's country music, and then R&B or whatever, right? Like I literally have everything, and I'm very much that way. I'm kind of like my sister-in-law used to call me organized chaos. And I know that I really am that way. I know that I've been told that, right? So I'm like 1 minute over here, I could be, literally on set or backstage somewhere, BET Awards kind of thing, doing makeup, and I'm taking my vitamins and drinking my, my green. But guess who's providing everybody with the gluten-free options while I'm over here backstage or stuff like that? You know how many times I've done that? It's just because I literally can come off as being very old soul, but very youthful, right? It's because I have a lot of experience in life. I actually have a lot of life stories and life experiences and things that I've gone through that can definitely bring out the old soul side to me, right? But because I choose to enjoy life in the moment, and I don't mean irresponsibly, but just really truly enjoy whatever is in front of me at that moment that I am able to enjoy, because I know, because I've experienced, and because I do know, and I very much live by the motto that tomorrow really is not promised to anybody, because I have experienced that. I had a husband who I was in love with, who did pass away and die of a massive heart attack, drop dead, literally like one morning, in his 30s. And it was just so unexpected, right? I mean, I had just seen him, and he went to the gym, right? So when you literally experience that, and I know if you've ever had anyone pass away who was close to you in a car accident or something very suddenly, right? When you have that jarring, very jarring life experience, it's very, very hard to unknow that. Like, you don't unknow it. You really can't unknow it. And so you live with the reality that all of our lives are short-lived, really and truly. And none of us really do have tomorrow promised. And so because of that, right, I can be in the moment and passionate about whatever it is that I'm dealing with in that moment. And I want to enjoy that. And I want to enjoy that life. And so that can come off as a little childlike, maybe even immature if you don't know me. But I'm not, right? I'm not really immature. It's just that I love as hard, and I love as hard as I get, but I love hard. I just love hard, right? And I know for me personally, once I get to a point with a man that I have chosen to say I love you, to you, to him, to you, whoever's in front of me, like if I'm at that point where I decide that I love you, that means my heart is invested. And once my heart gets invested, I know that means I'm going to go hard for you. And I'm going to feel a certain type of way, right? And if I start feeling less than back, if I start deciphering or feeling like I'm not getting that same type of energy or love or commitment, loyalty, whatever, back, in some sort of way, or I'm getting back, or I feel like I'm getting back very bad negative energy, or, maybe something extreme, like hatred or something. If I feel like any, it's just, I've got to drop it, right? I've got to drop it, because I know that I cannot expend out energy as hard as I do and not get it back equally. That is just, it's not going to be possible for me to be in a relationship like that. So, because my energy is so important to me, I need my energy to do the things that I need to do, the things that I want to get done, places I've got a lot of goals, and I almost feel like living 100 years on this earth, even like our governor here in Georgia just was, I feel like sometimes that's not even enough time for everything that I feel like I really would love to accomplish, and what I would love to do, and places I would like to go visit and see and everything, right? So, that I feel like I cannot just waste energy on men, people, friendships, relationships who are not going to give back to me what I feel I'm essentially giving to them. I can't do it. It's not going to work for my lifestyle. It's not going to work for the type of passionate person that I really am, right? But with all that, I feel that I actually, I feel, compared to some of my girlfriends and people, some of my friends that I've talked to and everything, I feel that I have a pretty, actually, more open-minded, or I don't think I'm as picky as some other women that I hear, that I talk to all the time, But then again, I guess it's all in just, I don't know how you look at it, but like, I'm going to give you an example. I know a lot of women who, they will never think about dealing with anybody who's ever been in jail or prison or whatever. Like, I understand why. I know what all the, what do you call them? I know what people say, I know what women are thinking, and I get it, but I don't prejudge. For me, the first thing that I think of, if a guy tells me, he's had some, time in jail, prison, or whatever, and like some downtime or whatever, the first thing I think of is, or the first thing I ask is, what did you learn? What did you learn while you were there? What did you get from that? How did you feel? Like, what I'm listening to see is if he had a come to Jesus moment. Because usually that's what I hear. If they were in there in any amount of time, they have a come to Jesus moment. I mean, even my first husband, he did one night. And that was enough for his come to Jesus moment. It was so cute. I can only talk about that now because, rest in peace. And it was not funny, but it kind of was, because, yeah, it was his come to Jesus moment. But anyway, I've met plenty of men like that, and actually I feel like whatever makes you kind of like break your ego down, then I'm all for that. I'm all for that, because that means you're real. And see, I am a very, like, as lighthearted and as fun as I can be, really, truly, like, I'm also very deep, so like, I like to hear about people's stories and the things that they've overcome. and their trials and things that they've come through, what they learned, and how God talked to them. You know, I find that to be very fascinating, right? So, like, I don't judge that with men at all. I mean, like, at all. That is not even something that's even first of all, there are too many people who are wrongly imprisoned in America, okay? So, and especially if you have any kind of color to your skin, okay? You know, so to me, I don't even think that anybody could even stand on that, you know, and be like, I can never get with someone who's been in jail, when you know good and well how many people have been wrongly imprisoned here in America. And so anyway, that to me is like, that's not a non-negotiable for me. And I know a lot of women who say that is, right? Some people go to jail and in prison because of their religion, or because of their affiliation with a religious group, or because of their worship to God, or whatever, right? I mean, how would you feel about that? You know, so like, to me, that's not even, I don't know. I don't think that I'm really that picky. You know, I think that I don't really think I feel like I don't judge a book by its cover, like a lot of people that I know that they do, right? Now, I do believe in a natural physical attraction. I very much believe in that. I mean, even more so today than I have in the past, right? Because I've always felt like you should have a real natural physical attraction. Okay, I've always felt like that. But you know, I always find men are very, you know, they might be attracted more to me, but I might not be so attracted to them. And I'm usually very honest about whatever it is that I don't like, right? And I try to say that from the very beginning. Like, you know, I'm not quite feeling this or that or this or that or whatever. But it's almost like, you know, they'll like to think that they can change my mind. And you know, with their winning stellar personality, and maybe they can, but that winning stellar personality needs to stay all the way throughout the relationship. You can't drop that winning personality as soon as we get married, or you know it's like there's a saying that says, whatever you did to get that woman in the first place, you better be prepared to keep doing that same thing after you marry her. Right? Okay. And yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like, now though, I very much feel like there should be a physical attraction. In fact, the woman that I am today is definitely like, if there's not a real physical attraction, then I know I can't entertain it. I'm just not entertaining it. Just not doing it. Just not doing it. It's just not, you know, because I feel like, I've been, for the most part, pretty lucky in love for the most part. And so, you know, I just feel like I've had more love in my life than some women that I know, and I just feel like, well, I don't know. I'm good. If I hit my max, I'm good. You know, everybody wants to be loved and have whatever, but I have so many other interests and things that I get to do or whatever, and I think that being single, there are a lot of things that you do get to do. You know, it'd be nice if you could find that person who you can do things with, right? That there is an attraction to. But yeah, being physically attracted is absolutely, I think, way higher on the list than it's ever been before. But I think that also love of God, and also love for truth. I mean, you know, truth. When I say truth, I mean like I say, and I always share this. People know this about me. If you know anything about me in real life, you know that I don't celebrate holidays. No, I can't, because I know they're all fake and pagan and lies, right? So no, no. I'm only going to celebrate what God says to celebrate, which is the death of Jesus Christ. When Jesus became the Christ, right, by him dying. So I celebrate that. And you know, I can celebrate anniversaries and other, you know, important dates, things like that. But you know, as far as like pagan holidays and stuff, no. You know, I just can't do it. I can't get down with that. I mean, I can sell you a basket and let you put whatever you want in that basket and make some money off of your belief, right? But no, that's just how I roll, right? And I'm very open and honest about that. So I just feel like if I was to get with a guy, a man, I say a guy, but you know, a man, you know what I'm trying to say, and he's like big in Christmas and stuff like that, and he's going to want his house celebrated and lights and with trees and all that. That's not going to be the life for me, because I don't celebrate, right? So, I mean, I'm not going to stop no man from doing whatever he wants to do. But if he's going to try to expect me to participate in celebrating these pagan holidays, you know, or running around and looking for eggs from a bunny, okay, I'm not going to lie to my child. I'm not lying to my child. I never have. My boys, they grew up knowing that there was no Easter Bunny and there was no Santa Claus. I'm sorry. My kids are the ones that probably spoiled it for everybody else's. But hey, I can't lie. Like, I'm not going to lie. I just couldn't do it, right? So, like, that's not, if that is, you know what I mean? So I do think maybe in that way I could be a little bit picky. But I think that there's a lot of men out there who have told me flat out that they think that that's amazing, because they don't have to pay no crazy amount of money around Christmas time, right? To please some woman, right? Because half of the men that I know are only doing it because their lady wants to do it, their woman or whatever. Most of that's just what I hear. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, but that's just what I hear, okay? But I mean, like, you know, I don't know. So I just think it's very interesting. It's all in how you look. It's all in how you look at, you know, how you perceive things in relationships, right? It's like, did that woman really, was it really her fault? And was she really the downfall and the reason of the relationship failing, because she refuses, you know, because she left after giving a warning? And I'm telling you, most women I know, they're like, oh, I told him I needed this, I needed that, or I needed him to change this, change that. You know, I told him to get rid of that side chick or whatever, you know, stuff like that. Like, women are, I mean, come on. And a woman will give a man plenty of warning. I mean, from what I hear, what's going on or whatever. And when she finally does step out, and usually the reason why he'll blame her is because he didn't expect her to actually do it. He didn't expect her to actually, like, you know, leave. And I think that's where men go wrong. There's a lot of women who are like me. I mean, I think there are a lot of women who are maybe, they talk a lot, but they don't leave. They don't, you know, put action to where their mouth is, right? I do. I'm one of those women that's like, I think I'm gonna be fair. I think I'm very fair as to how much time, depending on what the issue is, or depending on what the problem is, or whatever is going on. But I think that I've been very fair. You know, I think that I can give a good amount of time. That was my light on my phone. I think that I can give, I think that after I've given it a fair amount of time, or whatever, you know, and when I leave and I say, no, you know, I'm not putting up with this or whatever, I think that most men are just a little bit, like, surprised, you know. And I don't say, I say most, but it's not like I haven't had that many relationships, but I would say, let's see, you know, I would say, you know, let's see, one, Travis, you know, I mean, maybe 4. I've had 4 longer term, if you want to say longer term relationships. Yeah. And what's interesting to me is that when a woman is a good woman, when a man knows that he actually has a good woman, I mean, when you actually shave down all of the ego and lies, deceit, or, you know, embarrassment, shame, or wanting to look like they're big and bad boys to their friends, for their families, to their people. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, I hit the button. Well, I think that a lot of these men, when you finally, when they get stripped down to the real root of the matter, of the real issue, when they get stripped all the way down, and when their ego is stripped down, when they have nothing else, they don't need to worry about their reputation or what people think of them, their family, their friends, whatever, right? If the answer is, if they will take that woman back, if they want that woman back, right, because she is a good woman, and a lot of women will testify to this, then you know that she was not the real reason as to why the relationship had to end. That there was a problem, or there was a situation, or there was an issue that needed to get rectified. right? That she did what she had to do for her self-respect, her dignity, her morals, okay? And that man was testing her. And that wasn't acceptable, right? And so I know a lot of women out there will absolutely agree with me. A lot of women will be like, yeah, that man tested me way too many times. He put our relationship to the test too many times, and when I was done, right? But now, it is true that there are times in life where, I've heard this. I really have heard this quite a bit from people, but I also can say that I've experienced this as well, where, you meet somebody and two people we're not looking to meet anybody, and we're not even looking for a relationship. And it's kind of like, right person, wrong time. Right person, wrong time. Because you both may have been trying to rebuild your life or set yourself up or maybe get a new job or whatever. And it's just like, and when times like that happen, or when things like that actually happen or whatever, and that happens. Situations just don't match up or whatever. And that can be a different scenario. A woman is probably not leaving for that. She's probably just leaving because of the situation, jobs and stuff like that. Just things get in the way, right? Anyway, I think that I'm not really that picky when I consider and I look at, the things that, I know a lot of women who are like, they want their man to make a certain amount of money. He needs to make 6 figures, 12 figures, I don't know, whatever. Over, 150K or whatever. I don't know. I know a lot of women that are like that. I really do. I know a lot of women like that. And I'm just not, I go based on how I feel. I go based on how that man is making me feel. If I feel in my spirit and in my soul that, we are actually compatible, and I move forward by, accepting that person and saying, I love you. Once I move to that point, then you can consider it a done deal. The likelihood of me being the one to walk away for no reason is really pretty much zero. Okay? Because I don't come to that very easily. I just don't. I'm not about to sit here and say I'm like this old woman and say I have 80 years under my belt, or I think I'm still 22. But I haven't had very many long-term relationships, but it's because all the other little dates and little people I've met or whatever, I was not saying I love you to them, and I wasn't exclusive or anything like that. So, and there was nothing serious, and I'm not the type of person to, go all the way, with somebody. And, me as the woman that I am, and I know a lot of women are like this, we're there has to be a full-blown commitment before you're thinking about, mixing all the way with that person, if you know what I'm trying to say. Because, nobody wants that, right? I have to be I'm just very sensitive about my spirit. So I can't have my energy mixed up like that, right? So the point is though, that by the time, I just feel like if I've gotten to the point to say I love you to a man or whatever, he, for my world, in my world, he has made it way farther than 98% of the men that I've ever met. Okay. So yeah, the likelihood of me being the one to just up and leave or just go because I want to is zero. There isn't one man that I have ever dated or entertained or, actually been with or in a relationship or whatnot that can say that I did not give them a valid reason why I had to make the decision to leave. And then there's my first husband who passed away. And believe me, I tried to walk on his butt a couple times too. Well, I did. But in the marriage, it was a little bit of a different situation, but I did actually try 3 times to back up and leave and was severely blocked. But anyway, that's another whole story. So, I guess what I'm saying is that and maybe it's equally the same way for men than it is for women, but I guess because obviously I'm a woman and I have a lot of female friends and we talk or whatever, when we talk and we share stories, that it always seems to me like that woman is like not really wanting to leave. She doesn't like want to go. That's not like her first choice. But when she finally makes that decision to exit or have to walk away from that situation or whatever, it's only after giving enough chances to get that fixed, right? So even though I feel like I am quirky, I know that I have a lot of things about me. I think because I am that way about myself, like I know that about me because I know that I'm funny about a lot of things. I don't know. I mean, if you just know me, you just know that I have my little things or whatever, But because I know I'm that way or whatever, I feel like I give that same grace to whoever I'm with. So I know that other people have their own little quirky things they like or whatever. And I feel like I'm pretty accepting of a lot of things, like, and, I don't feel like, money is not big on my list, it's just not. Mainly because now I just can't deal with, I don't want to be controlled by any man's money, I'm like, oh, good for you. I'm glad. I'm happy if you have money. And that's great for you, but don't stop me from doing whatever I need to do or what I'm going to do. I don't want to be stopped. I need my freedom and time. I like, I very much, yes, time or quality time is one of my love languages. Definitely quality time, which doesn't need to be a lot of time, but quality time, and acts of service, right? And so those are my love languages, right? But like, I just don't like my freedom. I think more than anything, when I say freedom, I don't mean freedom to date other men or freedom to be not exclusive. I mean freedom to just be myself, whatever that is, right? Like freedom to just be me, and to be able to have my creative expressions, to be able to do what I like to do. I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things that I like to do, and sometimes I get inspired direction. I mean, literally, like sometimes I just get in. Like I had a poster in my room when I was a kid, for years. I mean, years. I think all through elementary school. I have to ask my mom because I can't remember. But I think for sure, at least all through elementary school, maybe even going into middle school, I had this poster that it said I'm not being lazy. I'm just waiting for divine inspiration. I think that's what it said. But I just remember saying divine inspiration, right? But that's the thing about me is when I get an idea or I get something, like whatever, it's just like I'm going to execute on it. Like I want to do it. I may or may not stick with it because I may decide it's going to fail or it's like a bomb, it doesn't work or whatever. But the fact of the matter is like like for me, the person I want to do it. I want to go for it, right? I want to try it. Because I just figured the worst that could happen is like it fails or it doesn't work or whatever. So what? I move on to the next project, the next passion project, right? Now, of course, makeup is, and people that know me, they know I'm a makeup artist. So makeup is my number one passion project. But now I have something else that I'm working on. Well, I would say 2 other things that I'm working on. And yeah, I'm not ready to talk about it just yet, but soon. It's going to be more of a community passion project, I think. And but anyway, when I get these divine inspirations and things, like I need the freedom to just be whatever and to be able to do whatever and not have to be worrying about a man thinking I am cheating on him, or he's trying to control me, or he's trying to tell me no, like no you can't, or blah blah blah, or you have to be home at this time. I'm grown, I'm an adult. If my job that I'm doing is keeping me out till 3 o'clock in the morning, which is very rare. I mean, very, very rare. But you guys, when you do makeup and you are contracted out, and if you're doing like a music video or if you're on set or whatever, I'm telling you, you can tell. Anybody who works in the industry knows this to be true. If you're contracted out or to do whatever, you got to stay till the job is done. I can't sit here and be like, I'm sorry, I have a curfew at, 40 something years old, whatever, because my husband doesn't want me to, stay out past 12 o'clock. That's not going to work, right? That's not going to work for me. So if he doesn't understand that, then to me, it's like, then you better come, your butt better get up and come with me to this job that I'm doing or whatever, right? And if you don't like that or like that lifestyle about me, then don't pretend to like it in the dating process or in the dating time, like when you're first getting to know me, right? When you know what I'm about and you learn me and you see, because I'm a very upfront, honest person. Like, I don't lie about nothing. Okay? What you see is what you get. And if I love you, you're going to know. If I don't like you, you're going to know. If you're getting on my nerves, you're going to know, right? I'm going to tell you, look, you got to go. I'm doing something, or you're on my nerves or whatever. Like, I'm very much that kind of a person. Like, all of my friends and all of them, they will all tell you that. They will all say that about me. They will literally all say, like, you're not wondering with me, right? Always, like, the look on my face, I can't hide stuff. And I don't try to. I mean, it's very rare, like, very rare. Like, if I'm doing a poker face, it's because I just feel unsafe in the environment. That's it. So when I say, for me personally, when I get to that point, if I'm in a relationship with you and I have to leave or I have to walk away, you best believe it was because I had to, and I think a lot of women are that way. So, okay. Good night.